Even half a decade later, Death Stranding is still one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. I love its in-your-face artificiality, I love its dedication to naturalism, I love how these things clash, like the futuristic buildings popping up from the fields of green grass and black rocks. It's one of the only games I can think of that actually benefits from having an ultra-wide aspect ratio. I treat the game like a sightseeing tour anyway, so when I'm playing it, I want to see as much of it as possible. So what should we do with one of the most beautiful looking games ever created?
No, can't do it now.
Well, we can put it on a phone, that's an idea. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this. They took Death Stranding and they put it on a phone. It released a couple of days ago, so I decided to check out some gameplay, and the weird thing is...
Of course. There's no luck.
I'm completely enchanted by it. Nothing is ever perfectly in focus, not even Sam. The resolution is weird, the grass looks sharp, the water looks like plastic. Whenever you turn the camera even a little bit, everything turns into a complete blur. There's moments where the game seems to barely be able to even run the thing. It looks much more like a hazy recollection of the game than the real thing. It's novel to be able to see an alternate version of this game. And we used to get stuff like this all the time. This isn't even the first weirdly lo-fi port of a cutting-edge Kojima Productions game. You can play Metal Gear Solid 5 on your PlayStation 3. There is a port of Snake Eater on the 3DS. But even games that were designed for these platforms sometimes feel like bizarro versions of the real thing. Like, look at this. Come on, tell me that's not incredible. These are small little screens refusing to actually be small. They're trying their best to give you the grandest possible experience. And because they never truly succeed, they are so charming. Look at how incredible the original version of Resident Evil Revelations looks. Even if you don't know anything about game design, you can kinda tell how this thing works under the hood. You can see textures popping in. You're constantly surrounded by compromises, and that always reminds you of how hard people work to get this thing running. You kinda get what's happening, but not quite, and that is just so fun. The Third Birthday is another game that I just never stopped thinking about. I saw gameplay of it one time as a teenager when I couldn't sleep and was browsing YouTube. Every now and again I would go back to the YouTube search bar and type in terms that I remembered seeing in the gameplay. I found it again years later and it felt like uncovering a hidden treasure. It's like the perfect thing to have a blurry nighttime memory of. This entire thing looks magical to me still to this day. The pre-rendered CGI cutscenes look gorgeous and they remind you of what this is. A big company that wants to make an expensive game being humbled by simple hardware. This is something you can't recreate. This is a look that is almost unintentional. It is visuals shaped by the time they were made in. I completely forgot how much I loved this look for a very long time because we didn't get stuff like this anymore. For a while it seemed like technology was just too good. The only handheld we even have left is the Switch, and while it's one of my all-time favorite consoles, it just doesn't have that very specific magic I'm talking about here. Anything that can run Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild is just too powerful and well realized to fall into that handheld uncanny valley. Also, I have like a bunch of funny clips from Breath of the Wild that I recorded actual years ago and I'm never gonna get to use them, so enjoy. Basically, what I've been trying to articulate here is that sometimes joy can be found in imperfection, and because of that, the Death Stranding port is really cool. I'm glad this stuff still exists. I'm glad we still have small little computers dreaming up blurry images and soft glows.